Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Hope, and this is Malibu, a perfect little angel, little poopy baby girl. For today's video, it's just gonna be very chill, sit down, you know, stuff that I hate filming. To be honest, I hate sit down videos. I hate watching people sit there and talk for 20 minutes, but I'm gonna try to make this quick. The reason why I'm making this is because over the past few weeks, I have been getting so many DMs on Instagram about becoming a personal trainer or becoming an Orangetheory coach. And instead of replying to all those DMs, I feel like I can't get super detailed through DMs, and so I just wanted to make a video and kind of just explain everything, give you guys my experience, how I did it, what I wouldn't do, what I would do differently. I am a certified personal trainer. I'm also a certified health coach, and then I also coach at Orangetheory. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do, and I'm just gonna kind of break down exactly how I did it, where I got where I am today, and just kind of give you guys all the details you need to know. I know a lot of people want to become a trainer, or they want to teach group fitness classes or yoga classes or spin classes or anything like that, but which I don't blame you. It's a fun job. It's a great way, it's a great gig to have part-time to make decent money. I know a lot of people want to know how much trainers get paid and if this is something you can live off long term. So I'm going to kind of break that down, explain kind of what I've made, how much money I've made from it, if it's something you can live off of or if it's comfortable for you as far as income goes. So we're gonna get really into the nitty-gritty today. But yeah, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, and also if this video helped you out in any way or if you took something from it, please like it and comment down below. Also, you can follow me on Instagram as well and send me a DM. I love talking with all of you. So yeah, let's get started. Firstly, I'm gonna kind of talk about how I got started in Orangetheory, because that's kind of where it all started for me. Maybe a year after I graduated high school, I kind of didn't really know what I wanted to do. I've always been an athlete in high school, and I've always enjoyed working out and being active. So I knew I kind of wanted to get into that field. I started working at the Orangetheory in my town. I just started as a front desk person. I was what they call a sales associate, which is the people who check in the classes, introduce new members to the studio, and it's pretty much a sales job. You focus on bringing clients in the door, taking them through the workout, and then trying to sell them a membership. So I did that for about a year, and I really liked it. As far as the pay goes, it's definitely not a high-paying job. It's a very intro level basic job, or if you're living at your parents' house or you don't have to pay rent, you can do it. But you do earn a small bit of commission. For me, it just wasn't worth it. I don't think the commission is great at all. But it's a really good job to get your foot in the door and to just learn about the fitness industry and kind of just the Orangetheory workout in general. I was working as a sales associate there for a year, just out of high school, just kind of figuring out what I want to do while I was in college. It was definitely a good gig for me at that stage of life that I was in. So that's how I got started into it. While I was working front desk, I then got promoted to a sales manager, which is basically the person who's just the lead sales associate. Pretty much. Got promoted to a sales manager, and then literally right after that I got promoted to a studio manager, which is the manager in charge of the whole studio. At the time, I was really invested into Orangetheory. I really liked the workout, I liked the product, I was just all in for it. So for me, I was super excited. I started to just run the studio. I hired people, I trained people, and I just kind of oversaw the studio. But when I first started at Orangetheory, my end goal was always to be a coach. I always wanted to be a trainer there. I wanted to be the coach. I wanted to be the person in class who's guiding everybody through the workout. The studio I worked at, they didn't really need any coaches at the time, and I just kind of ran with the sales part of it. I just got more into the back end of things, and I just kind of stuck with that for a while. So after doing that for about 2 years, I kind of got burnt out with it, not gonna lie. Sales jobs, if you work in sales, you know it can be kind of exhausting. You're always struggling to hit quota, and that's how it is even in Orangetheory. You have goals you have to meet, you have certain sales numbers you have to keep track of, and for me, that's just not, I got so burnt out by it. I was just kind of over it, and I always knew that's not what I wanted to do long term. So I decided I wanted to start coaching, so I kind of just kept in contact with my regional manager and the people who were in charge of me, and I kind of just voiced that to them, hey, I really want to become a coach. And then there was a time period where we were short on coaches, and I just jumped on it and I just started teaching. So in order to become an Orangetheory coach, you have to be certified, whether that's through the NASM, which is what I did, or there's ACE, or there's a ton of different certifications you can go through, but just talk to your local Orangetheory and make sure you know which certification is going to work for them. I went through NASM, the NASM certification, which is the National Academy of Sports Medicine. That is a certification I went through. I think there's a couple other ones you can do, but the one I did is the most common, I feel like, and it is the most credible. Not really sure about everything else. This is just the one I did. I signed up for the NASM certification, and when you sign up for the NASM, there's a lot of different options you can do. There's like a self-study, you can do the full guided certification where they give you pretty much everything, the books, flashcards, study exams, practice tests, whatever. I'm pretty sure I did the highest one. I just remember being like, I was so serious about it and I was so into it and I wanted to learn everything I could from it. So they literally sent me everything. I paid like over $1,500 to do it. I remember being in such a rush to get it that I literally buckled down for 1 month and just studied so hard and took the test within 1 month. It's literally a 6-month program, but for me, I kind of was very into working out. I watched a lot of YouTube videos, I read a lot of articles. Literally, my life was working out at that time, so that's all I was consuming. So I feel like I knew a lot going into it. If you're somebody who knows nothing about working out, you know nothing about form, you know nothing about training, then I would definitely recommend getting the full guided program. But looking back on it now, for me personally, because I went through it so fast, I feel like it was a little unnecessary and probably a waste of a lot of money, but no regrets because I passed the exam. The exam is hard, I will say. You definitely have to study and you need to be prepared. You can't just go into it and it's going to be super easy. So yeah, I passed the exam, and as soon as I passed the exam, I was able to start coaching. So because I had been working for Orangetheory for a year, I already knew the workout. I knew exactly what the coaches did. So for me, it was just about practicing. Luckily, I worked at the studio already, so I was able to go in during the downtime when there was no classes going on. I was able to practice on the microphone, because for me, that's the hardest part, is getting comfortable on the mic. You have to be comfortable on a microphone explaining things to a big group of people. I would follow along the template with them and kind of just understand what they were saying. I would pay attention to their cues and everything like that. Also, every coach is different and they have their own style they put to each class. So I kind of took things that I liked from other coaches and things that I didn't like, and I kind of made my own style. So that's what I would do. I would take a lot of different coaches' classes and kind of figure out which one you like and what is more your style and which one you can connect with the most, and then, you know, just kind of focus on how they teach classes. Also, when you become an Orangetheory coach, you will get set up on Orange University, which is a training program that every Orangetheory employee goes through, and they have tons and tons of trainings you can do online where they're just basically like videos and people telling you how to coach. So you'll definitely have to go through that, which your studio will get you set up on. They definitely set you up for success. They're gonna train you, they're gonna let you know everything you have to. Some things you can't teach people, and that is being comfortable on a microphone and just being confident to be able to walk around a room, tell people what to do, help people, and encourage people. So that's definitely the part where you're gonna have to figure out if you're comfortable doing that. So yeah, once I did a lot of training, I probably went through like 2 weeks of training and practicing on the mic and shadowing people, and then I started teaching my own classes. I started coaching here in Arizona, and then I decided to move to LA, and I really wanted to continue working for Orangetheory. So I reached out to the regionals of the LA studios. I had to go out there, I had to do an audition. Some Orangetheories do require you to audition, like the higher ranked studios. So in LA, it's in a very elite coaching group, so you do have to audition there. You have to go in and basically show that you're able to coach. You can't just, they don't just take people's word for it. Like, you have to go in there and kind of prove yourself. So I drove to LA one weekend, auditioned, got the job, and then a couple weeks later I moved to LA and I started teaching there. A lot of people ask if you work at one Orangetheory, if you can work at multiple studios. And yes, the answer is yes, but it depends on what ownership you work for. So Orangetheories are franchises, so there can be multiple owners. So for example, in LA, our ownership owned 20 plus studios, which is huge. That's not very common. In Arizona, the studio I work for now, our owner only owns 2 studios. So it just kind of depends. So right now I can only work at 2 different studios because I can only work under that specific ownership. So the first studio I worked at, our owner owned 8 studios, so I was able to work at 8 different locations, if that makes sense. So you just have to figure out which owners own each studio, and you have to find a group of studios that you would want to work at, if that makes sense. Before I talk about pay, it's just important to know that every studio pays differently. It kind of depends on the region you lived in. Like the money I made in LA was significantly more than the money I make in Arizona, if that makes sense, because the membership pricing is different all over the nation. So like the membership price in Arizona is way less than the membership price in LA, just based on the demographic and you know, people. Like obviously we know it's more expensive and way more bougie in LA, so obviously the membership prices are going to be more, so obviously we're going to get paid more. So that's just kind of how it worked. And every studio is different, I will say, when it comes to pay, but they're all pretty similar in how it works. Basically you get paid per class. So if you teach 5 classes, you get paid a certain amount for each class. Now it's not just a flat rate, you get paid based on how many people are in your class. So in Arizona there was a scale of pay where if it was less than 10 people, you were making $25 a class. If it was 11 to 15 people, you would make $30 a class. If it was 15 to 17, you would make 35 or 40, and then if it was 21 and above, you would make $50 a class. So if you have fuller classes, then obviously you're gonna get paid a little bit more per class. So you could have a class that's super full and you can make $50 a class, and you can have a class that's super dead and you can make $25 a class. So it kind of just depends on how full your classes are. So if you're looking for an Orangetheory, I would definitely pick a studio that's in a pop-in location that you know is busy and you know the classes are full. So the goal is always to keep your classes full, and it obviously depends on which location you're at and the times of each class. Like maybe a 3 p.m. isn't going to be as busy as an 8 a.m. or whatever. Now when I lived in LA, the pay structure was way different. I was making pretty good money, not gonna lie. We were getting paid per person, so we would make a certain amount per person. So there would be times where I could make up to $100 in a class if we had a full 3-group class. So there was days where I was making $100 a class, and then there was days where I was making $30, $40, $50 a class in LA. But the minimum you can make in LA is $35, so they'll always give you at least $35 even if you only have 3 people in your class. So that was something that was good. Some days classes are busy, some days they're full, so it's always gonna kind of depend. And I know times are so weird right now because we're in, like, you know, but because of the pandemic, it has caused things to change a little bit. Obviously, we had to reduce class sizes, so we're not making as much money. Just a pre-warning if you're deciding to get into it now. There is opportunity to make a lot of money, especially if you pick up a lot of classes. There was days where I would teach 10 classes a day. I would teach 5 in the morning and 5 at night. That's when I was really, though, like hustling and grinding in LA, and I was just trying to make money to pay rent. Whereas now I'm kind of burnt out. I do get burnt out more. I don't really like to teach more than 5 classes a day. Sometimes I'll do 3 classes, sometimes I'll do 5, sometimes I'll only do 2 classes. It just kind of depends. But for me, I love, like, a comfortable amount of classes a week for me is like 12 to 15, and I can live off that, and I'm happy with that. So you kind of just have to figure out how much you're comfortable with, what you're gonna get burnt out with, and how much money you need to make. Also, there's always opportunity to sub. Like if there's a coach who's sick, you can always pick up their classes, so you can always make more money that way. But I like to commit to less. Like I only commit to maybe 12 to 15 classes a week. But if I feel like I want to pick up more, then I can just pick up classes from somebody else who doesn't want them. So if you do want to teach any sort of group fitness, I would definitely recommend getting certified, becoming a certified personal trainer. For me, I learned so much for that, and I was able to pick up some clients. I do Orangetheory, and I also do a little bit of personal training on the side where I just have a few clients that I teach one-on-one, and you can really do that anywhere. Once you have your certification, you're totally open to do that. So I think it's a great thing to have. Yeah, so that pretty much sums it all up, I think. If there are any questions that I missed, then comment down below. I respond to all my comments, or send me a DM through Instagram. I think that's all she wrote. I think I've said everything I need to say. I'm sure I forgot something because I kind of just winged it today. I didn't even make any notes. I kind of just wanted to just be real and authentic. Anyways, I hope you guys liked the video, and once again, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye! Malibu? Malibu, you wanna cuddle now?